Hey guys, I'm Jasmine and I'm the creator of Adorn Light Elements, your new skincare provider in Houston, Texas, and also your new self-care life coach for the overwhelmed empath. My intentions is to put out videos every Friday for you guys to enjoy. I'm going to take accountability and say this is a Monday. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel by clicking the button below. And also go ahead and tap that bell so you can be the first one to get this light. Now let's get into today's topic. This is something that I have been thinking about a lot. I also have issues sometimes with identifying what's my own thoughts and what my own feelings are versus what's projected onto me. So with that being said, we are going to talk about cancel culture and how to shine your light regardless of cancel culture. So we'll start off with what is cancel culture, because a lot of people don't necessarily understand what cancel culture is. Cancel culture is basically saying you have behaved in an unacceptable manner by society standards, and it's like they put an X over your face because of how what you did have made them feel, or the perception of what you done is not gonna fly. So basically you are shunned from growth in society. It's a very authoritative nature and also a very judgmental. It's basically the court of public opinion has said that I don't like what you said and I don't want to hear you talk. And so they put tape over your mouth so you're not able to speak your opinions. So I want to segue into the main downfall when you're shining your light in cancel culture. Is it makes you scared to shine your light. It makes you scared to speak your truth because you don't know how someone is going to react to what you do or say. It's two major needs that we as humans need. We need self-expression, but we also need belonging. So that's hard, right? Because belonging is not always expressing yourself. It's about putting yourself in those other people's shoes and being empathetic. Self-expression might not require as much empathy, but more about just standing in your light and shining your truth, shining your light and standing in what you believe in. So when you're in this cancel culture, you have to walk on eggshells pretty much, right? So I'm a millennial. I grew up in an era when we took everything for a joke. Like we went through quite a bit in childhood and we grew up very fast. As millennials, all of my friends are like this. We make light of every situation. So what might be called bullying nowadays was literally us joking about our trauma to not feel so bad about it and not feel so heavy about it. Because if you gotta laugh to keep from crying. That's definitely was the millennials' mindset. So it's very interesting how now I have to kind of change my mind into always picking the right words, and not always, because I can't. So that's the biggest downfall is the culture nowadays. I'm 30, so I am not a youngin' no more, but every little thing you might do or say could be transformed into your narcissist. I can't say it because it might get flagged. Your fuel lighting, if y'all know what I mean. You are manipulating, you know? And I'm like, yeah, this is going to be hard to really shine my light and speak my truth if I can't just be in my authentic spirit. But one thing I realized about being a content creator, getting my life coach certification, and putting myself out there, putting my spirit out there, you cannot be scared. So the first thing when you're shining your light, you have to accept your flaws, love them, and know that they might be thrown back in your face. I stutter. I'm a thickums. I'm fake fat. That's what I call it. I'm fake fat. I know my body and I know myself, and I am secure in that. You have to be secure in that. When you put anything out in the world, even my products, I got only 2 bad reviews, but it was more of critique for them. And I couldn't take it too personal. Now, one person I was like, you hate them. But the other person, I was like, okay, I thank you for that. I'm going to try something else. So, that is the thing. When you are shining your light, you can't be scared. Who's going to like you will like you. If you get canceled by this group, it's going to be another group that loves everything that you said and can identify with you. You can't be worried about pleasing everybody. You have to pick a side. You cannot ride the fence. I realized I'm more of an assertive life coach. I'm not going to hold your hand. I'm going to make you accountable. I'm going to tell you what you need to do, because that's how I was raised. That's what works, because the biggest change comes from the hardest truths. You cannot really change too much by being too passive. So that's also going to lead into my next thing, is you cannot control how people react. You can only control your actions and how you react to others. If I tell you I'm going to throw this chicken at your head, you're either going to A, move out the way, B, dare me to throw the chicken, or C, cancel me. Now, my upbringing, my culture, my friends, someone told me that, I dare you to throw that chicken, right? They throw the chicken at me. We all throwing chickens now. You threw the chicken at me. It's no more than right. I throw a chicken at you. That's not the way how things go nowadays. Everything wasn't bullying in a sense of it was kids being kids. Kids are going to be kids. You can't be too... You can't take things too personal. But what you can do, and it is okay to say, hey, I don't like that you want to throw a chicken at me. That doesn't make me feel very good. Can you please not throw that chicken? Can you control that person if they throw that chicken? No. But you can get out the way. You can get out the way. But what cancel culture pulls out their phone and they record you throwing the chicken at them. Now, maybe someone does not know what happened before you said you're going to throw that chicken. It could have been something that provoked you. It could have not been. That is all drama and mess and gossip. See, that part matters none. What matters is what's seen in the public. So if they see you throwing that chicken, you look like the aggressor. You have your hand up. You got a chicken in your hand. You're throwing that chicken. Cancel culture reaction is to basically offset their reaction and put their reaction onto the opinions of others. So that way they have a whole rally, a team to back them up in what they feel. So as a life coach, one big thing is making people accountable. Standing up for yourself. Everything is not speaking your truth when you go online and talk about it. That's not, all things are not speaking your truth. Sometimes you feel like you need validation from outside to say, I'm okay in feeling this way, right? Because this is wrong. You don't. You don't need that. That's not needed. When someone tells you they're going to throw a chicken and you allow them to throw a chicken at you, you and that other person now is like a victim villain type thing. One big thing with life coaching is changing you. If a coach, it's about being smart, playing smart. So when you're shining your light and you're on that basketball court and your other team is doing little funny things to you, they might, untie your shoelaces, get in front of you, foul you a little bit. That coach, they looking at that other person's actions to try to get you to react, and they're saying, I need you to switch. We're gonna switch. You're not guarding them anymore because they want you to get out of character. You're not guarding them anymore. So a coach is going to look at the whole situation. When you're shining your light, and if someone is blocking your light in whatever way, it might be throwing a chicken, it might be fouling you, it might be whatever it might be. If someone is trying to block your light, you shine anyway. You shine anyway. You can't control other people. You shine anyway. Okay. I know you want me to get out of character, so I'm just gonna get around you. The shade is right here. Let me get my defense. Let me go around you so I can make my shot. So next thing about shining your light, and I had touched on this earlier, is the biggest changes comes from the hardest truths. So one thing I'm going to talk about is my father. Rest in peace. He taught me something very, very young. I came to him crying, and it was about how I felt about my image and how I felt about how people viewed me and how it made me feel because of how other people viewed me. I was crying, and he laughed. Now, I know this is not healthy. That reaction was not healthy. He said, but what comes next? He said, Jazz, if you're going to be crying about that, you're going to have a hard life. At the end of the day, this is what he said, at the end of the day, nobody cares. Do something about it. Now, he was an old head, so he doesn't necessarily understand. Now I understand. I took offense to that for a long time, and I blamed him for not being emotionally available to me. But a big thing that I now understand is he was so right. Reacting to how someone else feels about me and wallowing in being a victim matters none. It does nothing for you. You're going to continue to be a victim until you stand up and do something about it. If you don't like the way you look, he told me, if you don't like the way you look, change it. But you cannot put that feeling of how someone else has made you feel on other people and expect them to feel the same way. It's okay for people to not feel the way that you feel. You can still speak your truth. At the end of the day, speaking your truth and stopping it at just speaking your truth only creates sympathy and judgment. Your real power is you speak your truth and you acknowledge the way that you feel. After that, you make a change If you don't really like the way that you look or whatever it is, change it. And if you cannot change it, accept it. So, acknowledge your feelings. It's okay to sit with it for a minute. It's okay to sit with it for a minute. It's okay to get therapy for the way that you feel. But one thing you cannot do, especially when you're trying to shine your light, because all of that unhealed trauma is going to block your light. So one thing you cannot do is wear that on your sleeve and carry it with you. It's going to weigh you down. The biggest changes comes from the hardest truths. Sometimes you need someone to say, guess what? And? You mad because you can't make a shot? Do better. You can't make that shot because you're not shooting it the correct way. A change needs to be made. You need training. You need to focus. You need to watch videos on how to shoot the shot. Saying, well, you know, I hate that you can't shoot that shot. And that goal is wrong. It's that basketball goal is not right. Does that even make sense? So that's cancel culture. And then cancel culture will completely... Well, no one's playing basketball no more. I don't think anybody should play basketball. Wow. That's pretty extreme. So to conclude, this is what I want to give you guys. I want you to walk away from this. Shining your light in cancel culture. First thing, pick a side. So understand who you are and accept who you are. That's how you pick a side. If you are for this or you are indifferent, because we're not going to say against. Are you for it or are you indifferent? I accept who I am. I like to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and I believe this about X, Y, and Z. Now you shine your light. You project how you feel. You have to be ready for that criticism. You have to be ready for people to not like what you're saying, to disagree. You got to be ready. You got to have your defense up. You got to be ready. You cannot allow everything someone says to you to trigger you. If you react to everything that someone says and how they feel about you, you're no longer shining your light. You're playing into the oppressor's goal to stop you from speaking your truth. So keep talking, keep shining, keep speaking. Get ready to give backlash. Have your defense up and shine anyway. Don't let no one dim it. Shine anyway. Glow. Always remember, sometimes it's not the people that agree with you, it's the people that disagree that teaches you the biggest lessons. That's it for today on this beautiful Monday, guys. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. I hope you can continue to shine and glow in every single way. And I'll see you guys next week. No, I'm going to see you guys Friday. I will. All right. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell. Bye.